is a picture of me that was taken earlier today. As you can see, I'm holding this red lightsaber, and we are going to transform this into something a little bit more epic. Now, this was originally taken for a class project for a friend of mine, but I decided to do a video on it, and it seemed like a pretty fun idea. So I have this folder here called Camera, and it features my friend in a couple different poses, and I decided I'm going to use this one. I'm going to change the profile to Adobe Vivid, and then auto adjust the image, and click OK. So as you can see, we have this photo of him on top of this photo of me. They were taken at the exact same day, just a couple minutes apart, locked down on a tripod. But what I'm going to do is take this rectangular marquee tool, draw a very rough mask around him, invert the mask, and then delete. Oops. I have to rasterize the layer. Now I can delete and deselect. So there he is jumping. But the position here isn't really that great. I think I'd like for him to be up here. So what I'm going to do is come in here and isolate this layer and get out my quick selection tool and just start making some rough selections around him like that. Then let's go behind the head here to the top of this arm. This might get sketchy there. Yeah, as you can see, this finger gets caught in the selection there. So I'm going to delete that. There's this little bit up here. Let's delete that. There's this tree bit right here along this arm. Gotta get that out of there. And then let's... Oh, this is all pretty tough in here. Okay. There's that armpit region. Then let's see. I can't tell exactly. Okay, there's a little bit there. Oops. Alright. Man, it's really like overcompensating right now for some reason. It usually doesn't overcompensate this hard. But while we're here, let's just come in here and clean up these edges a little bit with the eraser tool. Now this isn't the most precise way to do this. And if I was trying to, do something more professional, this isn't the way I would do this, but I'm just kind of cleaning up these rough edges with the eraser tool here. There we go. Okay. Then we come along. Ooh, his wrist got taken out. That's no good. Okay, we're going to keep backtracking to when that happened. Undo. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Gotta take that there. Make sure we preserve the wrist. Unlike me, when I was in high school, we had to preserve the wrist. Okay, just start cutting out chunks. Just start cutting out chunks. Let me unzoom a little bit here. All right, this tree stump. Man, it really wants to take this arm out. It really just dislikes this arm right here. Get that there. Okay. Then let's see, we got this wooded section here. Okay, let's take all that out. Alright. We have these trees and such here. That actually seems like a pretty solid. Surprised it didn't try and grab the foot there. Well, now it's trying to grab the foot. Okay, let's take that. Oops. There's some. Oh, it's right up here, I see. Okay, take that. That's actually alright, I think. I can handle that. Man, why is it grabbing this leg? Sometimes the auto selections that Adobe makes are just weird. Like I'm clearly, it's a different shade, different color, different value, but yet it's still trying to grab. Alright, most of the big chunks here are done. So what we have to do is, real quick, let's make this new layer. Let's get a paint bucket tool and just give it this blue color. And see, this lets you see all these rough edges. All these rough edges. So, just start carving this up and get all these jagged bits out of here. And then soften up these edges here. Okay. And like I said before, there's obviously more precise, better ways to do this, but I'm just trying to do it quick and easy for the sake of this video. You know, this isn't the class project he's turning in. He has to do it on his own. I just helped him get the shots for it, but the concept for the project was so cool, I decided to try it on my own here and record my attempt at doing it. Let's clean up all those edges there. At least looking pretty clean. Ooh, we took out way too much on the boot there. I was way too heavy-handed with that eraser tool. Alright. You know, I don't mind carving out. Oh, man. I usually have a pretty gentle touch with this eraser, but for some reason I'm being more heavy-handed this evening. Look at that. Alright, I think there's some tree bits in there that I want gone. Alright. All these jagged bits through here, that's all eliminated. Look at that. Just gone. This is like almost rotoscoping in a way. Except for with a photo instead of a video, of course. I used to hand rotoscope before I really learned about motion tracking. I would hand rotoscope all of my visual effects stuff in After Effects. And the thought of doing that now is just so painful. Like back then I just didn't really know any better. So I went frame by frame by frame, drawing every little point of the mask and then keyframing it and making sure it lined up and everything and making little minor adjustments. It was, yeah, I was definitely not doing things as efficiently back then. Alright, let's zoom in here. We got the, let's lower the size of this eraser to, let's do 30 pixels. Okay, then let's come in here and just clean up the edges edge of this blade. Now we're going to be replacing the blade with a visual effect. So it's not super important that this is clean, because we're going to be putting in a CG blade here, but I just want to have a rough cutout here of everything. Okay, and then let's get even smaller. Let's go 15 pixels and cut that. Okay, let's fit the screen. There he is jumping. There's this little bit right here that stands out to me, but other than that, I think we're okay. Right there. Well, fit screen. It looks semi-clean to me. Okay. Then we erase that blue layer, and there he is cut out. And I'm gonna put him like right there even. Yeah, that looks good to me. That looks like a solid spot to me. Hold on, I noticed right here on the hand. Let's come in here and clean that up. Again, just using the eraser tool. Not the typical workflow for this, but there you go. Okay, so that right there is good. And we're going to label this as Jedi. And then this is our background plate, of course. Now let's do the red saber. Let's start with that red lightsaber. So we unselect all of our layers and we switch to a white foreground color. It's very important. Then we need to go to the polygonal lasso tool. And let's zoom in on this lightsaber here. Okay, so we take the polygonal lasso tool and we click here, 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 and just trace the blade of the lightsaber like this. And then you want to, probably need a few more points here in the top bit because it's rounded. Okay, and then we go click, 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 click. They want to come in here at the hilt, and there we go. There's our selection. Then we want to go select, modify, expand, and I'm going to use 2 pixels. That works for me. And then select, modify, feather, and we're going to do a 5 pixel feather. And then with this white color in the foreground selected, we want to get our bucket tool, come click on this red saber layer, and fill that selection area. And we can now deselect. And as you see, we have this glowing lightsaber look. Then you want to double click this and come to the outer glow effect. This is set to blue, but let's change that to red for the red lightsaber. Okay. And look at that. Let's go to fit screen. And there you have a red lightsaber effect. But this isn't affecting the glows or anything like that, so it's not married into the scene. So we're going to create a new layer called red glow. Then let's switch to this blue here and select, we'll just select red, the same red that we made the saber. And then we're going to come up to our paintbrush tool and we want 20% opacity, 20% flow. And we're going to zoom in here and start doing some detail work with this brush. So get the brush, make sure you have the red glow layer selected and the color red here. And then we're just gonna start painting in So I want heavy amounts of red on this top part of my hand, like this. Like very heavy amounts of red. But then I want less red in here. That's almost too little, or too much. So one pass right there. So as you can see, there's like a difference over the top of my knuckles like that. Okay, and you see these lighter bits on the cloak where the light is hitting it. I want to go heavy into those spots. All those lighter bits on the cloak should get heavy amounts of red on them. Like that. And like right here, this bit here, this bit right here, this little stripe right here, and this little corner. And then up here, I want some like heavy red right there and across there. Oh, also across the front of this cloak here. Like that and like that. See that? But then everything else, we just do a quick little pass. Like quick. Not holding it long. We just do, see how it's fainter? Like that. This is all fainter out here. Like that. And then right here, like, ooh, just do a faint pass. Faint pass right there, faint pass right there. Faint pass right there. So as you can see, there's that difference in the level of color that's on the cloak. Let's do a little bit right there on my hand. I feel like it's not fully filled in. Okay. Then let's do maybe a little bit back here on this. And then like a little bit right there. Like that. No. Like that. Like that. Okay. And then we're going to take this red glow layer and change it from normal to screen. Now we go to fit screen. Look at that. Look at that effect with the screen. You have this varying intensity of red glow across the cloak. So I'm pretty happy with that red lightsaber effect. So now we have to come replicate that same effect over here, and this lightsaber is going to be green. So again, we switch to the white foreground color. Make a new layer. This layer will be called Green Saber. Green Saber. Then we zoom in here, and we get our polygonal lasso tool. Now I cut off some bits of the saber here, on accident. But that's okay, because now we have our opportunity to fix it. But I leave this one squared off like that, because I want that thick motion blur effect that lightsabers get when they are in motion in the films. And again, we go select, modify, expand, and we'll do 2 pixels. Select, modify, feather, 5 pixels. Then we select this green saber layer, select our paint bucket, and we fill it with white. Okay, now we can deselect, and we can fit the screen. And then we want to do the same thing we just did with the outer glow, but we're going to change it from red to green. Look at that. And there is the green saber. Now, time to do this. We're going to go green glow. So what we just did before with the red, but this time with the green. And we get our paintbrush. Okay, and of course we already know our heavy areas. The hand, of course. That hand. Then we'll do light strokes on the back of the hand. And look at this, we have this big this is like a thick light area there. And I probably want to put some on the face. So I'm going to go heavy on the front of the face. Like all through here is going to be heavy green glow. And then back here is going to be light green glow. Like this. Like lighter. And then very faint back here. Like barely any. Let's just turn this to screen now so we can kind of see the effect that's happening there. That looks good. Okay. This is gonna look solid. Let's paint this all through here. And then like this. And then we're gonna go heavy on this bottom line of his shirt here. And then like very faint through here. Like that. Okay. And then right here it's gonna be heavy green glow. And then faint through here. Like barely a glow at all. Just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. That one might be a little rough compared to the other one, but yeah, it does look a little rough for sure. Yeah, it looks a little, but whatever, it's rough, but I'll live with it. Like I said, I'm doing this pretty fast and loose. I'm just gonna I'm gonna subtract a lot of these from his body. I think like that's even good right there. I'm good with that. But you want to get a little bit on the leg probably. I'll get some on the leg. Like that. That looks good. I think that looks good right there. So he's jumping. He's got the green, the glow. Perfect. And I think, you know, for our Jedi and our Sith here, I think that's pretty solid. But now it's time to start bringing in some other elements. So let's come back out here and we go to the stock folder. And as you can see, we have all sorts of fun little tools to mess with here. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in this spark effect. Okay, and we're going to call this Spark 1. We're going to come to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. And we want this to become blue. So let's go like this, and let's change the lightness a little bit. Like that. Looks good to me. Get a more bluish tint to it. And then we're going to take this, because we are turning this into a force lightning effect. So I want the sparks to be facing outward. I just want these to be little sparks coming off of the fingertips. And then the lightning, I think this looks good like that. Little spark. We want that to be a screen effect. Yeah, that looks good to me. Let's really zoom in here on the finger. Like that. And I think let's go and let's do a little bit of a blur. Let's get a little bit of a Gaussian blur. Like 0.5 pixels. Just a little bit of a blur. Then we're going to hold down Alt to create a copy of this effect. And we're going to bring it here to this finger and attach it there. Then we're going to create another copy. We're going to make it a little bit smaller because it's further away. And we're going to rotate it a little bit so it doesn't look like we're just copy and pasting. And we're going to put it on that finger in the back. Then we're going to create one more. Make this one even smaller. Spin it around like this. And that's going onto the pinky in the very back, like that. So now you have this hand effect where you can see there's sparks coming off of all of my fingers. Okay. And now what I want to do is take these. I don't think I can merge them, can I? Can I merge these? Take these four. Create a new group. And this is just going to be called... Oh. My caps lock was on for some reason, but that's just called sparks. So there's my sparks. And those are looking good coming off of the fingertips there. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay, I am. Now, I have this lightning bolt effect that looks pretty promising. Let's zoom out. Okay, as you can see, it's going out towards them. So we want to bring this. We want this to kind of connect to the fingertips a little bit. So we want this to at least connect to a couple of the fingertips. Let's make it a little bit smaller. And this actually looks pretty solid right there. As you can see, it's like connecting. So what we're going to do is we're going to rasterize this layer. Then we're going to come in here with the eraser and just kind of start cutting out the bits like that. This whole bit here is going to be gone. And this bit that's coming off past the finger. So as you can see, like this is gone. And anything that's like, because it's supposed to be behind the hand, of course. So what we want to do is have the effect look like it's behind the hand. Oh, I might have screwed that up a little bit there. Maybe I need to make my eraser a little bit smaller, we'll see. But we want to just kind of outline this finger. See what I'm saying? Because it should all be behind the finger. The finger is the foreground. Let's take this down to 10 pixels. 10 pixel eraser. And let's just take all this out. See what I'm saying? Boom. And like this random spark over here, like hopping off to the right, that doesn't really do anything. Alright, let's go to fit screen. What do we have? Look at that. Nearly perfect. It's coming out. And it's jumping towards the lightsaber. Let me hold control. And like stretch this out towards the lightsaber like that. I think that looks good. I might have to come in here. I'm just doing, this is like a really annoying way to handle this, but I'm just gonna use my smudge tool and smudge this up to fill in these gaps around the finger that you can see there. Like that. And then this is gonna like cut that all out like that. But that should make it look a little bit nicer. Yeah. And now the lightning is coming out towards the saber. Do we want the outer glow? Let's maybe make it like blue. Nah, that's not necessary. Let me get rid of the outer glow. Do we want this to be a screen effect? Ooh, does it look better screen or normal? Screen. Normal. I think it looks a little bit better as a screen effect. And then I think I want to duplicate this. Let's duplicate the layer. Just, yeah, that looks a little bit nicer. I think that looks nicer. And then we're adding all this into the sparks. So this whole thing is just grouped. Just so I don't want to mess with it too much. Okay. Now you guys know what it's time for. It's time for the blue glow. So we get this, and then let's switch to like this blue color here. It seems pretty close to the one on the hand. And then we want to come in with our paintbrush and start making the hand glow, because the lightning is coming out. And then fainter glow, really faint, like that, and then change it to screen. And look at that, we got the lightning coming flying off the hand, the blue glow on the hand. And then we probably want a little bit of the blue glow up here on his hand, like this. Maybe a little bit on the saber. That's not doing anything. But we definitely want it like down here on the handle of his blade. Yep, that looks good. Maybe a little bit mixed in with the green up here. Maybe some of it on the knee like that. On the top of his boot like that. Could look good. Yeah. Then let's fit the screen. I think that looks really good right there. And actually really fast, let's come in here on the lightning bolt and let's go filter blur. Let's give that a Gaussian blur of a pixel. And then let's copy that onto the other lightning layer. There we go. That should just make it look a little bit better. So this is the lightning effect up close. You have the sparks and you have the lightning coming out of the hand and going towards the Jedi. Should I get this blue glow? Should I put a little bit? Yeah, let's put a little bit. I'm gonna go 50 pixels on this one. And let's paint a little bit of this blue glow down here on the branches and stuff. Like also on that branch right there, and I'll put some in here, like that. Just some faint stuff on the, that's too much, but just some faint stuff on the ground there to kind of ground it into the scene. I want to go hard there and there, and let's do a faint line there. Yeah, I think that really grounds it in. Let's get this green glow back real quick. Just looking at it, I kind of want to get some more in here. Like right here on that side of the pants. I think that looks good. Okay, let's switch back to our white foreground. I think we're done with our, hold on. It's bugging me now. I kind of want to put this green glow right here on his boots. That's maybe a little too, there we go, a little bit on the boots. Okay, I think we're done with this foreground bit of the scene. I think that's pretty much done, the Jedi and the Sith part. So now let's put a Star Destroyer in the background. Now this one's obviously a cartoon, but it's going to be at a distance where you're not going to be able to tell. Let's do like this. That looks really good. We're going to put it right there. But as you can see, there is this jet stream right here. And we want the Star Destroyer to look further away. So we're going to take our eraser. We're going to go 50% opacity. Star Destroyer, put you up top, and we're going to rasterize that layer. Okay, let's take this to 50 pixels. And we're going to go like this. That's a little too much. Let's go 35 pixels. And we need to be kind of semi-precise here. it's better than, looking like it did before. There's probably a better way I could have done that, but that's just my fast and dirty way of getting that effect in there. But now what else can we do to ground this into the scene? Well, first let's just rename this Star Destroyer. Okay, let's marry this into the scene a little bit more. So let's take our background layer here, and we want a burn tool, and let's kind of approximate where this would be. Let's see, it'd be hovering like over this area. So let's start putting in a fake shadow for the Star Destroyer, like that. Like that. And as you can see, now it's kind of casting this shadow onto the ground down here. And now we can even darken the shadow to make it look a little bit more menacing. And have it like come down here a little bit, like that. Now look at this. You have the Star Destroyer there, and it's casting this shadow down here onto the ground in the scene. Makes it a little bit more real, Okay, so we have that. Also, the Star Destroyer is pretty far away, so let's go to the Gaussian blur again. But maybe let's go to 2 pixels. 2 pixel Gaussian blur on the Star Destroyer. Again, just to kind of sell the distance of it there. Okay, let's bring this X-Wing into the scene. And this X-Wing is going to be pretty small. Let's put it over here. We're going to go like this. We're going to put it back here. I even think this would be solid to put it below the Jedi. Like that. And see that now his hand is breaking up the Star Destroyer. Or the X-Wing, rather. Okay. Then we want to again go blur, Gaussian blur, probably 2 pixels works. Yep, sells it into the background there. Might need to be even smaller, honestly. Yeah, I'm actually happy with that. Smaller, and then the background like that. That works. Let's change the Gaussian blur amount. Let's do 1.5 pixels instead. Okay, there we go. And now let's bring in this TIE Fighter. This TIE Fighter, again, make it very tiny. Let's go like this, like it's evading the X-Wing. We'll put it down here. Let's make it like a little bit smaller, like that. Look at that. It's slightly bigger. Okay. But we have the X-Wing, or we have the TIE Fighter down there. Let's go filter Gaussian blur 1.5. Just like that. Okay. Now I have this great blaster bolt effect. So let's bring this over here and direct it so it looks like it's coming out of the X-Wing towards the TIE Fighter. Okay, let's gotta shrink it down. So we're gonna have this one be a fresh blast, like that, fresh off of the X-Wing. So let's give that a 1.5 blur, like that. Perfect. It's coming towards the TIE Fighter there. But then let's duplicate that, and let's bring it over here. And this can be one that's like already looks solid. And then maybe a third one. This one can be like down here. Maybe even like, not even like that, like maybe. Let's zoom in here. Like put it down here. Like it's getting ready to impact the ground or something. Yeah, like that. That works good. Alright, let's fit the screen. This one's a little out of place. I'm gonna get rid of that one and just leave. Just leave those two back in there. Okay, but I think that scene back there works. You have the X-Wing, you have the TIE Fighter. I don't think I really need to mess anything with that, like a shadows or anything. I think that's pretty solid. Is there anything else I want to add to this scene? What's our runtime right now? 42 minutes, okay. Anything else I want to add? Let's do a background explosion. So let's get a nice explosion out here in the background. Let's come out here. We'll put it to the top of this mountain back here. Like a nice big explosion. So we'll go like this. Coming off the top of this mountain. So I need to match the exposure on this a little bit. So let's go to curves. Right. And then match. It could probably be like that. Let's take a little bit of the red out of it. I think that's pretty solid. And then we want to give it a, you know what it is, a Gaussian blur. Let's do 1 pixel. So you can still tell it's an explosion back there. Might even be too small. Let's size it up a little bit. Boom, look at that in the background there. I think that's pretty solid. But now, we need to make a new layer. And let's grab like this bright, kind of goldish there. And let's lower this down. Let's go like 32 pixels. And we need this gold glow from the explosion here in the background. And then like that. We really need to sell it through there. Okay, and then turn that. I actually think what looks best here. Actually, that maybe looks best, that linear burn. And then you have that background, you have that explosion effect there. And you know, I think that for now this is solid. I think there's a little bit I could do with this to clean it up. Do I need to maybe give it like a very, what is this? Edit, undo, Gaussian blur. Let's go with like a very, very I don't think I can blur this, can I? Blur. Yeah, I don't think I can. Can I do a motion blur perhaps? Coming towards here. Like just a very, very faint blur. Just to kind of break up those harsh lines. Let's go like 5 pixels. That might make it look a little bit better there. But you know what? Overall, I am happy with this. I am pretty happy with this. I think there's a lot of solid details all through here. I think I'm pretty pumped. I think from a distance, people would like this image and think, you know, the feet are a little rough. I'm gonna be honest, the feet are a little rough. But other than that, I think this is solid. So certainly something off the beaten path with this video today, but this just seemed like a really interesting project to work on. And I figured if I was going to work on it, I might as well record a video doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single day. Until next time.